Hello, YouTube. How you doing? It's been a while, but I'm here. I'm still here. Right, imagine you've got a bowl of water sitting in your body, and every time you move about a bit, the water's moving. Now, if all you've got to do is just remain still until there are no ripples on that water at all. Now, even moving your arm would create a little ripple. And then as soon as it's proper still, that's when you can plug in to God's matrix. Now, so unplug from the man-made matrix and plug into the God-made matrix. So the man-made matrix, so I woke up this morning thinking that's what they kind of want. That's what they want us to be doing. Just sit there in front of a computer and do whatever. Work, play, research, relax. There's a medium on your computer for all of those things. And this is probably how they see is the best way to control a population of billions. Not necessarily control, but just sort of keep entertained, keep them, happy enough. Let's see, still got a bald head. But horrible. Why do we want that? This man-made matrix, because then they can do all the when they hypnotize us, or propaganda, making us believe certain things so it suits them. So I think we should resist this and try not to get addicted to computer games or just working on the computer, sitting there in front of a screen. Don't believe it's good for us. I don't believe it's good for our health. And this is kind of what this video is about. How what is good for your health is plugging into the God-made matrix. And we're fully capable of doing so when we're born. We have a fully functioning endocrine system, which, if you've seen my videos before, I have talked about before. And this is, I think, the most important thing and what makes us human. And we call them chakras. And a lot of people probably hear chakras, they probably think it's made up. And are there 7 of them and all of this? Well, the endocrine system involves 7 organs, all running up the center of the body. And I'm not sure if they are connected with pipes, veins, like the blood is, or the lymph system, but that they're sort of telepathically connected. And when we operate them, when they're operating, you can feel each and every one and its function. Now, living in the modern world we do, there are many endocrine disruptors out there. Recently I've been doing gardening, and there's one way of weeding, which is to use weed killer, and this is an endocrine disruptor. Now, I'm not going anywhere bloody near the stuff. I mean, if you put it on a plant, it goes down and basically just kills it. I don't want any of that stuff near me. And luckily most people, they might have a dog or a cat or children, they don't want it either, which is good. But there are others that we don't really know about, or we do, but we there's contention around it and people try and ignore it, but fluoride. So fluoride, I thought it was just a calcified pineal gland, but there are more of your endocrine organs that it disrupts. Now for me, I was a good boy, brushing my teeth twice a day. Obviously you couldn't really buy toothpaste without fluoride. There was that pink Arm & Hammer one, but that's just got a hell of a load of other things in it, which I'm pretty sure aren't great because, they're not natural. So I stopped brushing my teeth for a long time. When did I stop? I don't know. Let's just say it was 2010. And I also stopped drinking tap water. Because I'm figuring, okay, the fluoride in there is only 1 part per million, which is pretty small. But if you're glugging large amounts of tap water, if you make it into tea or whatever, that's large volumes that you are ingesting right into your body. Whereas toothpaste is 1,000 parts per million, sometimes more. It's in the mouth, getting in the gums, but you don't necessarily swallow it, or you try not to. Anyway, so 2010, I stopped my intake of fluoride as best as I could, to my knowledge. And I would say, I'd go back to the videos, because I was doing YouTube at the time, pretty much my first ones, and I felt, not immediate, but days, couple of weeks, a difference. And so it's been about 15 years now, and my pineal gland has been fine for ages. Like, I feel it operate. It's obviously not calcified. But my thyroid, the chakra in the throat here, I just got a new sense of that a couple of weeks ago. I actually felt that chakra sort of, that I haven't felt it before. So each of these chakras are fully working when we're born. In the modern world, we take in things which don't help them. Another of our chakras is the pancreas down here, and that provides all the enzymes. Now, every reaction in the body requires an enzyme. You can't do nothing without an enzyme. And these enzymes are in, take an apple off a tree, you cut it in half, you start to see it go brown. That's the enzymes. So by eating food with enzymes, it helps your pancreas, because otherwise everything is dependent on your pancreas. And by the time you're in your 20s, if you're eating foods that don't have many enzymes in, your pancreas is spent. It's run out of enzyme, and hasn't got any left. And it's the pancreas operation also has some high level enzymes for some amazing stuff that I don't have all in my head. I can't tell you about it, but it does it. Right. So what I'm saying is, basic, in a nutshell. Turn off the laptop, sit down, be still, and plug in to the God matrix. And if some of your endocrine stuff isn't working, you can do something about it. You can go more natural, and it'd be good for all of us. And they really do want to take out our endocrine, right? There's so many like people getting the snip on their testicles. Now, I don't know for a fact that that's gonna, because your testicles, by the way, is an endocrine organ, and they're associated with goodness. And when I do feel my testicles go, ooh, right, it feels good. And quite often at that stage, you can take it to mean be a sexual thing. And then you get an erection. But if you don't take it to be a sexual thing, the energy kind of just goes up the endocrine system. And the most, if you like, well, you could say most important, but the central one, the core one, is your kind of your heart. So what this endocrine system is, the reason for it, is so that our soul can fully experience life here. Because our soul isn't from here. We're sort of given this body a temporary vessel for us to be able to have experiences and for our soul to learn. But when the endocrine system gets disrupted, the soul can't fully be here. Your soul can't fully be present here. So as a baby, as a child, you are here and your soul is fully present here. And the soul is the most important thing, obviously. It's eternal. It will be forever growing in some form. Right, so let's just go through briefly each endocrine organ. I'll start at the bottom. The testicles. Now, when I was doing my discovery, and I still agree with this, it fits with the word goodness. And its colour is like, what's that, violet on the end of the spectrum there. Violet colour. And it's like a round circle, translucent, but that colour. And it's associated with goodness. Or at least this is how I interpret it. This is how I've interpreted it. On my journey of discovery, this is how it came through to me. So when do I feel something in my testicles? When I've had engagements with people, men or women. Just some sort of, that was a good engagement that we had there. It might just be a hello or whatever it might be. Like I said, if it was with a woman, even though it's not supposed to be sexual, I could then take it the wrong way, take it to be sexual, and get an erection, and that might cause me to go and do something about that, or might not. 50-50 usually what I decide to do. And I was a bit confused when I first got them after an engagement with a man, or just in my imagination. I've just had an engagement. You can do it in your imagination. You can have engagements with people in your imagination. I said when the imagination flows, there's something real about it. When you're not, sometimes you can't. You try and force your imagination to do something and it won't. So what's all that about? Anyway, testicles, wallet, watch. No. So then, I was a bit confused when I first got it with the interaction with man. I know I'm not gay, so what is this? Anyway, so this is how I've been learning. So that's your testicles. Now the next one up, our testicles are also associated with earth. It's in the earth. It's the lowest thing in the ground there. Next one up is your waters. These are the waters you want to be still. Now this is associated with the organ of the ovaries. Now obviously I don't have any ovaries. So how can I be complete? How can I complete my chakras? Straight away, step 2, blocked. I haven't got any ovaries. But we all do have a soulmate. So you can effectively borrow the organs from your soulmate, because you are the same being. You have the same soul. It's just that one of you is the male reflection of that soul, and one of you is the female reflection of that soul. And they are different. So you can borrow the organ from your soulmate. I don't know how it would affect if they'd had them removed. I guess that then might cause a problem. And again, surgeons do remove ovaries. Ovarian cancer, remove them. So that's not good either. But anyway, if you've got them, or if your soulmate's got them, you can use them. So I wouldn't say I've had a heck of a lot of experience with this particular chakra. I've had some. It does connect me to my soulmate somewhat when I think of it. And it's peace. The word associated with this chakra is peace. It's a blue hoop. Blue hoop. Both the size of the testicle, remember saying it's a purple circle or violet circle. It's the size of your body, and so is the peace. The peace hoop. Blue, dark blue, not light blue, dark blue, because they're different in the spectrum. They're different colours. Dark blue. Hoop, peace. And it's water. Your waters. So you think you've got your earth and your water. Mix them together, what have you got? You've got soil that you could grow things in. Okay? So if it all is in good and peace and harmony, you've got a good soil system for growing. Because remember, I'm talking, this endocrine system originates in the beings that have lived on this planet. They haven't all got a 7 chakra system, but they've all got some sort of endocrine system. But basically what it is the plant within. If you think how a plant evolved to get some breathing apparatus around it and some limbs so it could grab things, and then some limbs so it could walk around, kind of a walking, talking plant. And this is in the centre of us. This is the most important thing. If all of this is okay, the rest will be okay, in a sense. Well, as you see when we get higher. Right. So the next one up. Are you ready to go for the next one up? I've said enough about, I feel like I might have forgotten to say something there. Sorry about that. So next, you got your soil. You got your soil sorted out, right? So you've got a plant needs its roots to be in somewhere, and it needs to be healthy and good and whatever. So next one up is the pancreas, and often associate this with fire, I think. Yeah. I don't know why though. Because these are sort of, some of this information is from like the Indian chakra system, but the colours and the words is what I got from my own discovery. But then hearing about what the Indians, how they sort of apply certain things to them. I did see some sense in it being fire at one point, but I'm not so sure now what it is. So anyway, this colour is yellow. And to me, when it came to me, it looked like a battery, square, with, the 2 sort of battery cells on, for some reason. It's kind of like a battery. The word associated is wisdom. So when we'll see in a moment, like you get one of these, these words are like an attribute, aren't they? Goodness, peace, wisdom. Right, you'll see how they lead into each other. So, wisdom of the pancreas. How do I feel? Like, I tell you what, when your pancreas isn't happy, it's one of the worst feelings you can get. It's horrible. Really, really horrible. Probably all experienced a little pang, especially if you're as old as me, if you felt it. It's just like there's something really wrong in very core place. Very disturbing to have a problem there. Equally, it feels very good when you're all good there. So when you're eating enzyme-rich foods, it's basically uncooked, fresh as possible, and natural and all that. It's difficult to get, especially from the shops. You cut open an apple these days, you leave 10 minutes maybe before you start seeing browning. That shows how fewer enzymes there are in it. So an experience with meditation, like I say, well, it's just the wisdom aspect. I don't know. It's difficult to describe. So I'll move on for a sec. Because the next one is definitely the most important. It seems on the surface the least important. I mean, this is what it's made up of. 2 adrenal glands here. There's nothing in the middle there, but 2 adrenal glands to the side. Now, a lot of you may not be sensitive enough to see how often your adrenal glands are in operation. We all know, if you get scared, suddenly see a tiger in front of you, you get scared, you got the energy of anything to run away, and that is provided by the adrenal glands. And they have subtle effects too. But it is basically about how you're feeling in your core. So you get the strongest feelings here in your core. And you can't force your adrenal glands to do something. You can't configure them using your thoughts or anything. It does what it does. The word associated with this chakra, this endocrine organ, is mercy, in the colour green, and it's a small green circle. So when you can manage to be still, and you're sitting still, but maybe your mind is still talking, and once you've learned to just sort of kind of quieten the mind, and you're feeling your chakras, you move into this sort of heart space, because that is you. You are that heart. That is your eternal core. There's nothing more important than that. That's when you just get to this pit, you just think, God, this is so nice. There's nothing else I'd rather be doing by now. So once you start feeling that, other distractions are not that hard to ignore, because you're feeling great. You're sitting there and you feel here. You're there. You're here, and it's a better place. Take my word for it. Try it out yourself. And we move up to the next one, which is the thymus, and this one is the most sort of unknown about. The Greeks did know about it. They knew that some people had it and some people didn't. It's supposed to start deteriorating from the age of adolescence to being non-existent by the time the average person is in their 60s or something, I think. And this organ plays a very important role in our health. It assembles the T cells and the B cells, which go out and fight disease and stuff like that for you. It takes bits from the bone marrow and it's assembled in the thymus. So if your thymus is deteriorating from the age of adolescence and then is practically gone, 50s or 60s, well, how can you be expected to fight off disease? So some pessimistic people might think it's supposed to be like this. I don't. I think it's a case of something, again, with these endocrine disruptors causing a problem. Not quite sure exactly what it is. Not exactly sure what state my thymus is in. But I have felt things from it. It does appear to be operating. Seem to be quite healthy. But maybe, like I didn't know with my thyroid, maybe there's, I don't know quite what state it's in. But its colour is red, and its shape is like a daisy, a circle with the petals coming out, right? About that big. And the word is faith, associated with the thymus, faith. Okay, moving up to thyroid, exactly where it is, at the base of the neck, somewhere around there, in the throat. Like I say, the other day I felt something sort of connected with my soulmate, and then I felt something in my thyroid, and yeah, interesting, because whether I'd learnt before or after that fluoride. So they've done. If you look on Google, fluoride endocrine disruptor. They don't really go into the pineal gland that much, but they say studies on animals is that, given high doses, their thyroid stops operating. And but they say it's okay in humans because we're only having it in small doses. But how many of these tests have done a lifetime of it? I don't know. I think we have pretty high doses of it, personally. So the thyroid, the word is patience. It's orange. And it's shaped like a pillow. How is mesh is like a pillow here. Makes you feel nice and patient. Okay, now we move up to the top chakra, which you say is the pineal gland, but it's not actually. It's the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. So it's 3 in 1. Now, they say the pituitary gland is the size of a pea and governs everything that happens in your body. It is the governor. But then they say, but it's actually the hypothalamus gland, which is the governor. And the hypothalamus gland is just like I don't know how long it is, probably not even that long, but alright, the pituitary gland is the size of a pea. Let's say the hypothalamus gland is twice the length of a pea, and it's just like a rod. And that connects to then the pineal gland, which I don't know how big it is to be exact. Cut in the side looks like an eye, but it looks like one of them pine cones, apparently. But I'd take the hypothalamus because it's the last chakra left is justice. Is it justice? Yeah. Justice is the word. It's light blue, and its shape is a rod. And when I fit, it's like the length of the body. It's the full thing. Now I get amazing feelings in the top of my head, which I know my pineal gland must be working because it's here at the front. I've had some amazing feelings from it, but quite often it's one of the first things I feel when I sit and meditate. I get a nice feeling here on the front of my forehead. And so it's justice. And how are they all linked? Well, they're linked like this. You could start with faith, but what if you haven't got faith? You could start with patience. Okay? Everybody could employ a bit of patience. You start with patience. Patience leads to wisdom. Because you're sitting there patient and then some wisdom comes along. Okay? I guarantee it. It does. When you get wisdom, you see things clearer, you understand them more. That leads to mercy, because now you can kind of see how things are and you can understand them. You're not angry anymore. Like, why do they do that? You kind of see why they did that. And that you can now apply mercy, because you can understand. And it's a great thing to do. Be merciful. The mercy then leads to, so what we have, patience, wisdom. So we are going in the colours. Yes. So then the mercy leads to justice, light blue. You get justice when people give mercy. Is that right? I don't know if I've done it right. I think so. Let's just follow the colours. Honestly, I've done it before. There's a better reason. See, I'm a bit out of practice. I've been working for the last two full years working, so I haven't really been able to. And I mean working like doing full-time stuff. Now I'm running my own business again, but it's gardening. It's been summer. It's been pretty full on. So anyway, bit out of practice. The justice then leads to peace. I mean, that's an obvious one, isn't it? I mean, mercy leads to justice somehow. And justice leads to peace. And then peace leads to goodness. And then, once you've done that, once you've got to the goodness, you've gone from patience all the way through those to goodness, that's going to give you a bit of faith. And then you have the faith, the red. So it follows the colours rather than the order of the chakra. So it's red, faith, orange, justice, yellow, wisdom, green, mercy, light blue, justice, dark blue, peace, violet, goodness. So if you unplug from the man-made matrix with all the computer games, I mean, I know, I've fucking done it. I play this Civilization, I can just be on there for like 6-7 hours and then go, oh my god. I feel awful afterwards. I feel terrible. Don't feel good at all. You know, we look for shows that we love so we can, sometimes you need to kill time. Especially when you're working that, you need to wind down as well. I can't finish a day of work and just meditate like that. I've got to wind down out of work and stuff. So yeah, I think that covers it. I'm going to attempt to do some graphics. I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll see. Hence making sure I had light on my body, otherwise it was all dark. Sorry my head's cut off, but it doesn't matter anyway. Yeah. Unplug from that matrix. Plug into God's matrix. Because, God is your parent. God is looking after you, wanting to guide you. And this is how we listen. Okay, that'll do. Ciao for now.